Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody had a wonderful Easter, and I wish all of you many more Easters, Labor Days, Christmases, birthdays, whatever it takes to make people happy. Just wanted to reach out and talk about the holidays and how it affects my family. One of the most important things in life is family, and us living so far away. We have nieces and nephews who are in Arizona, New York. Um, One that was in Alaska. Now she's in New York also. We miss all of them really bad, and our kids miss them more than anything. But it's tough when, like I said, you live so far away, 130 miles, but you would think 130 miles really isn't that far when it comes to family, you would think. But, it's seems like, for 7 years now, we've been out here on our own, without the support emotionally and mentally, especially for Teresa and the kids that we truly need or they truly need. It's heartbreaking. It's times where, my health has really gone downhill in the last 4 or 5 years. I got experts supposedly telling me that my doctors don't know what they're talking about and it's the wrong diagnosis, um, taking the wrong pills. Everyone thinks they're an expert, when it's not happening to them. But as soon as they get a stub toe, a hurt knee, a headache, hangover, and all of a sudden, they want my sympathy and compassion. They want my family to run to Cleveland and, hug them and kiss them and love them to show them support over their busted lip or their jam finger. It's come to the point to where we realize who's important in our life, including our great friends we've met from this area, the Michigan area, online. I got a lot of support online due to my illness. I've got friends that and acquaintances and ex-employees that worked for me that I truly miss more than anything. Patty and Sonny and Jeremiah and Damon and Dan and Amber and Stephanie, Rachel. I mean, the list can go on and on. Jeff. But then also there's those people who were your so-called fair weather friends who turn their back on us immediately. At my job. Carol Dean was one that turned her back on me, 100%. Mike Farrell. He tried to destroy our lives. Tried to basically say there's nothing wrong with me and my business was suffering due to my illness. I didn't ask for this. My health has gone so far downhill and it's affected our life, more than anything. It's affected our children and how, they're um, characterized, I guess you would say, inside school, outside of school. You know, Jordan, he's like I said, he's getting married September 13th this year. And Teresa's one of 10, I'm one of five. All of our families in Cleveland. There's husbands, wives, kids, grandkids. There's tons of it, and it just seems like they're not backing us on anything that we need backed on. They all say it's about money, and I can't help you with money. I can't do this. I can't do that. We all suffer. We all got bills. That's not what it's about. It's about love. Love from the heart, not just because you're blood. You automatically love us. In 7 years, our parents came out quite often. Now that they can't drive, due to health issues on their own. We miss them. But they make every effort to come out here. Jordan's graduation. We had a few people show up from both sides of the family, but not many. I mean, even when they did show up, it was a quick hi bye and let's go back to Cleveland. Um, the friends and support we got from Maumee, Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, like I said, online. I got friends as far as Europe area that check on me almost every single day. At least stick out. Stop in, say hi. How you doing, Bob? I got my true friends from Cleveland that I grew up with my whole life. My fellow John Hay Hornets, which hey, Hornets strong forever. hashtag Hornet Strong forever. You know, it was a big, barbecue coming up this summer. I wish I can go down and see them all. But I do have a lot of issues going on to where I will be at the Cleveland Clinic because they finally found a surgical team basically that will help me and try to fix his shoulder situation. And eventually from there, they'll move on to the hip and then move on to the knee. But, being such a high risk for the surgeries, it's scary. It's really terrifying for my kids and Teresa. And we'll get through it. We'll get through it from the support out here that's around us and from online. You know, it's to the point now where, you know, I haven't spoke to my brother in 7 years. He got to the point to where he just gave up on us. Don't talk to us at all. Just has his own life. And I talk to everyone else that knows him, knows me. My Time Warp crew. Congratulations on 19 years, Rob Rogers, Bobby Rogers, Al, Danny. Steph. I miss all you guys: Kevin, Shelley, Steve, Tracy, Ryan, Todd, Nader. I miss all you guys from the bar, and it was great times, great memories. I miss playing softball. I miss playing sports. That was my life. I was an athlete. I took care of myself my whole life, and then all of a sudden one day I got smacked in the face. With bad cramping and pain, lightheadedness, rapid heartbeat, and that all started '05 and took a couple years to figure out what was wrong. And then I get all the way to '07. They tell me what it is. And then, everyone blamed it on all the supplements I took and, having a mito issue is not not what I have. And it was heartbreaking that I didn't have the support where I really needed the support from. And again, a lot of people say, oh, we can't help you financially because of this and that. Or, back in the day, we let you borrow grocery money and you never paid us back. And, but at the same time, we've always helped strangers out, family out, friends out. When people needed deals on furniture, I always got them great deals. I was in the furniture business 27 years. And when we would buy new furniture, everybody's hands were out to come get new stuff. Come take our old stuff. You know, come take $2,000-3,000 rugs from us. You know, 10, 15 years ago. We were living a good life for a while, and our kids were living a great life. People say, "Well, live inside your means." How do you live inside your means when all of a sudden you have $2,000 worth of medical prescriptions and supplements and vitamins you have to take? And when you lose an $80,000 a year job and go down to Social Security benefits for disability, how can you live back inside your means? It's something that we didn't ask for. We didn't order it in the mail, order my disease off QVC and wait for it to come, or Amazon because it was a great deal. Let's get this disease. We spent a lot of nights crying, hugging, holding hands, Teresa and I, sitting down with the kids, talking up to them about it. Jordan gets strange phone calls from me, and I cry to Jordan. I call Teresa during the day. I cry to Teresa. I hug my kids every single day. I tell them how much I love them every single day. And it's been rough on us. It's just been really hard to understand, I guess you would say, how this has engulfed us as a family. When you're being treated with a brand new medicine for myasthenia gravis slash mitochondrial illness, combination, then you got, issues with your diaphragm, issues with your heart, your heart doesn't want to beat right, it's sick sinus syndrome, you got brain surgery, we're getting compartment syndrome spontaneously for many years, out of all my compartment syndromes, one time I was taking notes on a conference call, and that was the only physical thing I was doing when my hands swelled up right in front of my employees, right in front of Amber Jones, Amber Marshall. I'm sorry. Say hi to mom and dad, Amber. It's scary. You know, People say, I get what you're going through. I understand. I have pain in my feet. I have I get migraines. You don't really understand. There's a lot of people out there who do understand. Becky, you understand. Danette, you understand. Debbie, you understand. Joy, you understand. I mean, there's a lot of you who really, truly do understand because you're living it too. And it's tough. It's tough on all of us. Through the years, we got to meet some great doctors, became friends with great doctors. Dr. Elmer, he's a Parkinson's disease doctor. Great nurses that have, crossed our paths in life. Whitney, you know who you are. Nikki, you know who you are. Mary, Ebony. I mean, there's some great nurses that have, you know, fallen into our lives because of my illness. And I really don't know what we would have done without them. Teresa really needed them, and they were there for her. They were there to hold her hand. They were there to talk to her. They were there to hug her, and it's something that my kids need. We try to still provide. We try to still what we do. I got major car issues going on right now that we can't afford to fix. I got a car being repoed just because we can't afford it. When you have, rent and utilities and phones and, people say, get rid of your phones, go to Metro, go to this, go to that. It doesn't matter. It's still a fact that my family needs phones just in case something happens to me. I mean, for instance, Haley on May 19th, 2 years ago, she came home from school and found me laying face down on the kitchen floor. But people say your kids will get over it. Been told many times by family members, your kids will get past it. But then you see people posting, pray for my dad, pray for my mom. Okay, I do. I pray for everybody. I put everyone in my prayer list that I do every single morning. But us as adults who lose our parents, which is hard on every single one of us, to lose our parents, and, they're up there in age and, things happen, heart disease, it could be diabetes, it could be dementia, which, I got, my mom's, went through, and it's tough. And, but when it comes to having little kids in your life, your children who aren't even adults yet, understand they're going to lose their dad eventually. And it can happen any day, anytime. Me being such a high risk surgery candidate that, like I said, I got 3 surgeries that need to be done still to this day. And, March 13th of last year, having brain surgery, I died on the table. My respiratory system completely shut down. My pacemaker malfunctioned. I was aspirating into my lungs before the respiratory system, crashed basically. 2 days later, I get an embolism in my lung. I've had 2 embolisms. I've had 2 DVTs. People talk about, you see these commercials on TV where they're saying, oh, I had a wake up call. I got a pulmonary embolism. These are actors and actresses on TV. All they're doing is trying to sell a medication. But what they need to understand is people out there like us who are living it every single day. The chronic fatigue, the chronic pain syndrome, POTS disease, Melas. I mean, different kinds of mitochondrial diseases, which there's over 400, that they're linking diabetes to it, Parkinson's, MS to it. I mean, brain issues, dementia issues, which that's my disease is, Melas syndrome is a form of dementia. The myasthenia gravis is going after my, nervous system, which it can paralyze me. It can shut down everything if it gets to the point to where it's, I already got, severe, peripheral neuropathy through my whole body. I got a spine stimulator put in to help my leg pains. But it's to the point now where none of it's working. My body wants to fail, but my mind won't let it. But at the same time, my mind is fighting the demons itself. Have I gone through depression? Have I gone through anxiety? Yeah, I'm clinically, diagnosed with clinical, depression, clinical anxiety. There's people out there who think they know it all. Do this, get this herbal supplement, do this, do that. Live life to its fullest. You don't think I do? I really do. But when you're limited to what you can do because your body doesn't produce enough energy to get blood and oxygen to your brain, to your lungs, to your muscles, to your heart, life is gone. When you got to look at your whole family live their life outside the front window. You're out, you're on the inside looking out instead of the outside looking in, because that's where my life is. It's on the outside looking in my window. When I was able to. When it's too hot outside, I can't go outside. I can't breathe. I when I took my pulmonary function test, I took 9 steps and my oxygen levels went from 90 down to 83 that fast. And your oxygen shouldn't do that. I try to fight it and not use the oxygen. I said I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to do it. Use it. I'm going to be stubborn about it because I'm going to show my family I can fight this. But there's times I really can't, and I got to put it on immediately. Too many times, too many falls, too many pass outs. When you got chronic passing out, it scares your family. We're looking in and getting palliative care, so I can have someone here with me 2 to 3 days a week. Sometimes it's for someone to talk to me, someone to make sure I'm taking my meds when I'm supposed to. Half the time, I don't even take my meds when I'm supposed to because I just totally forget. I've doubled up on pills before, and that's scared the daylights out of myself and Teresa. But it happens. Taking a neurophysiological testing with, you know, trained professionals. When you've, realize that in a closed environment, I'm borderline. But they say when you add in all the environmental, environment out there, it's it's bad. That's when I start having the memory, the relapse problems, the short term memory, putting words together, putting sentences together. It's tough. Like this video alone, this is my fourth take on this video, because between the crying and the shaking and just not knowing what to say to really express what's we're going through, I had to stop. But having a chronic illness isn't a joke. People think, they live high on the hog because they're healthy. God bless every one of you who live high on the hog because you're healthy. Your kids are healthy. Your parents are healthy. But if you put yourself in our kind of situation where your kids and your granddaughter is seeing you basically slowly wilt into nothing because you're not getting the sunshine, you're not getting the water that, just like a plant would need or a flower would need. And you put flowers on you as a centerpiece on your table, you don't water it and feed it right, don't give it no sunlight, but you're going to see it slowly dying every day. And the worst thing is that's what my family's seeing. But then, like again, I said, I'm told that my family will get over it. That's not fair to them. If they're going to get over it, where's their support system? It's just it's not there for them, and it's not fair to them. They need it, and they need it bad, emotionally and mentally, more than anything. Quit talking about the money. Quit saying it's about money. It's about money. It's about money. I'm sorry. Grow up. If you were in this situation with your health and you have kids or great friends who care about you, how would you feel? How would this really affect your life? I've been told that there's people out there who are suffering way worse than me. Cancer people out there got cancer. Okay, I've told doctors many times that I wish I had cancer at times because radiation, chemotherapy, different techniques and different trials are being developed every single day to help people with cancer, and thank God there are. I got friends who have had breast cancer. Great people who I really admire have had breast cancer and different kinds of cancers. Teresa lost her father to cancer. My dad died of liver cirrhosis and cancer. Heart disease was on my mom's side. It's tough to swallow all that. Breast cancer killed my grandmother on my dad's side. And people don't truly understand how important life really is. You really have to focus on your family, your true friends. And like I said, my Hornet, John Hay Hornets, you guys really know who you are. My POA friends out there, Mike, Sarge, Scott, Brett, you guys know who you are. Kurt, my softball, baseball friends, the ones I played with forever. Dan Burdick, you're one of them. Joe Burdick, my brother, Ryan Todd, Gary Henry, Bill Gass, Jack and Gary Walls, some big names in the game of softball in the city of Cleveland. Kenny Crumpton from Fox 8 played a lot of softball with you and against you. Uh, Dave Gacchetti, when he was with Fox, I played against you. Dave Summers, who played for Fox 8, played against you. Kenny Crumpton had a conversation with me because I hit 4 home runs in one game in the softball world, and each home run got further and further. He just kept making fun of me and saying he's going to cut my arms off, cut my legs off. And I gave up everything in life I wanted and I enjoyed and I played. I want to get to the point to where I can go out and take pictures with my family and, one day be surprised with all my friends, and family showing up here out of the blue just to come support Teresa and these kids. Us being so far away, if something happens, they need someone to cry on. They need a shoulder to really cry on. Lori Hind, you've been fantastic. Crystal, Tammy, Nikki, God, Nikki, we've known you the longest, besides Lori, being our neighbor and our kid's school bus driver, that we would put any of our kids' lives in her hands and that we know she would be there for them. John Gray from Cleveland, Bonnie, Tom Aker, I love you, brother. Linda Kinter. I mean, I can go on and on. John Sayer, I can't say enough about you. Kristen Brown, from Channel 13 News out here in Toledo. Sitting down with you for an hour and a half in our house that day meant so much to us. Toy Creel, now that you're in Chicago, talking to my daughters, talking to me, about a school shooting, which could have changed our lives if that truly would have happened in our kids' school. But, it's great to see people out there living a life and enjoying life for what it is, not just surviving life. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to survive for my family and my friends who really care about us. With all this said, if anybody out there, could support our GoFundMe page, support us through PayPal, support us through Facebook. On June 22nd, I'm gonna try to do a 2 mile walk for the Walk With Me for the Easter seals over at the Toledo Zoo. We're looking for donations and everything to support Easter seals. You ain't got to do nothing for me. Just support Easter seals, other people who have disabilities and need help out there. If you don't want to do it for me, I'm going to try to do it with dragging an oxygen tank behind me, KAFO braces from my hip to my tip of my toe, maybe a walker, whatever I got to do to walk the 2 miles. Where's the coverage I'm going to get for this? You got, so much going on with people and, acts of kindness. And, I've done my share of acts of kindness. I've given up literally our grocery money to help, people during, especially older generation, with their bird seed and cans of food and their one loaf of bread and their pint of milk, when in the grocery lines. I've donated clothing, food, whatever I can. I'll help anybody out. I don't know how many strangers I helped out and protected them in bars working. And people collapsing on the street, carjackings, with a gun. There was a carjacking with a gun that happened right in front of me coming out of Value City Furniture, North Olmsted, back in 2013. But it didn't, scare me. It didn't make me want to turn the other way. A lot of people say it's only the veterans and only the police who are the heroes. I'm sorry. I've been a hero to my family and friends and strangers my whole life. I've always been there for people. Bobby Fran, Mike Lingo, Joe Velez. Steve Masesovic. You guys all know me. You know what kind of person I am. And without you guys supporting me, and I got a great friend, Paul Nagy, who's having issues now, who just just got out of ICU, that I love to death, known him my whole life. Randy, David, these are people that's been in my art. Porter and his wife Chris, and with that in mind, with Art and Chris, Porter, and their little girl Hannah. He's been more of an uncle to our kids in the last 10 years than all of their aunts and uncles combined. We're talking 11, 12 aunts and 5 uncles that really don't even call the kids on birthdays, holidays, Christmas. Jordan had a birth of his child and nobody came out to see her. It was a shame. It was heartbreaking for him. Jordan himself started off premature. He battled life himself with no lung development when he was born, in NICU and Metro Hospital in Cleveland, for 27 days in NICU. until he finally got to, step out of NICU and, be on step down. He's fought a battle. God put him here for a reason, and he's turned out to be such a great role model, father, fiance, son, cousin, you know, and I couldn't be prouder of our kids. We got great kids. Noah's an athlete, Haley's a brain, Nick's he's just sarcastic and obnoxious, and not as obnoxious as Noah, but our kids are close. Our kids are good kids. They've learned how to depend on the love for each other instead of even worrying about the love or the so-called love from family members that really don't express it to them, who've never, then, people hold grudges, oh, you guys didn't come to Cleveland for this and that, so we're not coming out there. No, I can count on two hands how many family members have ever come out here for any occasions. We've gone to Cleveland 11 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, midnight, Teresa and I running on 56 hours with no sleep, driving back and forth because of health issues and family matters in Cleveland, because we always ran at the time of need, showing up to birthdays, going away parties, baptisms, births. But, Jordan, like I said, we're having issues with family, coming to his wedding, family not really truly thinking about Noah's graduation, Noah going off to college. These are important times in our kids' lives, and where's their support at? Is it because I took our kids from Cleveland? We've given our kids the best life they can have. We might not be out there and bragging about vacations, bragging about this and that. Our kids, that we're trying to make do with what we have. We raised our kids to be very humble. And, did we spoil our kids years ago? Absolutely we did. Why wouldn't we? We had the money, we had the time, we had the means to do it. I worked hard my whole life to get in the position I was with Value City Furniture.